We're back. People say to me, oh, you always write about people who are really down their luck, and you always write about hookers, you always write about liquor, and you write about... And to that I say, you're right. No, well, I don't know. I think I write about a wide variety of topics. Those perhaps have been among them, but certainly not limited to. Mostly music. I was trying to say before that I think it comes a time when you're making songs, in particular, more than something else, that there's a bit of you have to be a bit of an escort service for the sounds themselves, hoping that these two will get along and being kind of disheartened when they don't, and delighted when they do. You look for things in a particular sound of a room and sound of an instrument. Certain things, after a while, your mouth just kind of forms in certain shapes and words come out. And that's what it is with me. Okay. I don't want to grow up. That's like a song that you can sing in the car. Those are the best ones. They come fast, and and when you hear it, you think to yourself, God, I could write something like that. Gee, does this guy make money? Anybody could write a song like that. But I think those are the hardest ones to write. I was going to throw it out. I said, this is just silly. And Kathleen, my wife said, no, keep it. Let's finish that. So it was good writing together. She would start an idea. Sometimes you get halfway through an idea and you're all by yourself and you think, gee, this is just stupid. I can't sing a song called whatever. I can't sing a song about the hagfish. And then someone says, "Oh, that's a great idea for a song," and then you finish it. So we kind of did that for each other. She would have strange, disturbing tales she wanted to tell, and I would insist that she go on with them and have the courage to finish them. And she did the same for me. So, but then, you know, there's some songs that you don't finish, or you end up cannibalizing for other purposes. Some aspects of recording are very much like medicine, really. You want to make sure that when you're operating on a song, you don't want to lose the patient. There are a lot of things that I think about, because I think of it as like an operation. It's like you want to save it, you want to improve it, and you want to keep it alive. And it is like saving lives. Sometimes you bring in songs that were in accidents, and or they've already been, you know, worked on, or they've been sick for a long time. You have a lot of songs that, if you write songs regularly, you have a lot of songs that have been sick for a while, and you don't even know what they've got. You have to develop some innate sense of what's wrong with a particular song. Why isn't it a song yet? It may be a song in the car, but it's not a song for the record. You can't capture it and finish it and really nail it. Why not? And those are questions that you're faced with every day in the world of recording, and you have to come up with an answer. Murder in the Red Barn. There's a good example, because a lot of the imagery is rural stuff. Is easy to come by, but it needed a story. Anyway. Certain things about the weather in this song cover up the truth, which I think is what happens a lot in rural communities. The cities, it's more difficult, because weather doesn't really affect that. Well, it's not really true, because it does in cities as well, but in the country, things can get covered up with leaves like bodies. Things can just vanish. So it's just, it's about that. There's nothing wrong with a lady drinking alone in her room, is the last line. Because there was murder in the Red Barn. Now, why is she drinking in the room? I know, it's like at Tallahatchie Bridge. What were they throwing off that bridge? Now, that was a song that really captivated me when I was a kid, because it had a lot of the elements that I love in a song. It answered some questions, but it also gave you more questions. It was a mystery.
A murder in the red barn. has its seasons just like anything. It's possums in the autumn and it's farm cats in the spring. Murder in the red barn, murder in the red barn. Now a lady can't do nothing without folks' tongues wagging. Is that blood on the tree or is it autumn's red blaze? When the ground is soft for digging and the rain will bring all this gloom, there's nothing wrong with a lady drinking alone in a room. But there was a murder in the red barn, a murder in the red barn. There was a murder in the red barn, murder in the red barn. There was a murder in the red barn, a murder in the red barn.
What I liked about the room that we ended up recording in was that, it had a cement floor and a hot water heater in the corner. So I think makes everybody feel comfortable when they see a hot water heater, because it reminds you of home and wherever home is. As soon as you see the hot water heater, you think this must be home. We're all kind of like dogs in that way, I think. At least I am. The other thing on the wall was maps. There were all these maps on the wall, so I felt like there was something about the fact that we were going on an expedition, which I thought was a good omen for the record. I'm always looking for things that indicate that this is what we should be doing, with our time. So it did have a certain feel that there was, like a wooden kitchen table and a hideout with a map on it, trying to figure out where the bank is. And so I thought that's how we got started in this room. The room we started on, it didn't feel right. It was a real studio, expensive studio. This was another, just a room in an outbuilding that had never actually been used to record in ever, which made me also feel better that, some rooms have things that have happened in them for so many years that if you ever try to do anything else in that room, it won't let you. If you ever try and, you can't drink whiskey in church. You just can't. Well, I guess you can, but that just for an example. Whatever had happened in this room had been so, I don't know, it was just storage. There was no, and sometimes rooms that have been used as nothing but recording studios for a number of years get, I think, a little bitchy about the kind of music that happens in them, because they've run the room for so long, all these sounds. We went into a room that had never been used for anything but storage and maybe kids playing hide and seek and who knows what, but certainly not recording. And I think it was delighted to have us, and I felt that immediately. And I think that helped the album.
Women all control their men with razors and with wrists, and the princes splashing in the blood. Dogs are having someone who is screaming in the mud. In the Coliseum, in the Coliseum, in the Coliseum tonight. In the Coliseum, in the Coliseum, in the Coliseum tonight. Now it's raining and it's pouring on the pillaging and boring. The constable is swinging from the chains. For the dead there is no story, no memory, no blame. Their families shout blue murder, but tomorrow it's the same. In the Coliseum, in the Coliseum, in the Coliseum tonight. In the Coliseum, all of death we see 'em. In the Coliseum tonight. That slowly acting poison will be given to the favorite one. The dark horse will bring glory to the jailer and his men. It's always much more sporting when there's families in the pit. And the madness of the crowd is in an epileptic fit. In the Coliseum, in the Coliseum, in the Coliseum tonight. In the Coliseum, we call 'em as we see 'em. In the Coliseum tonight. No justice here, no liberty, no reason, no blame. There's no cause to taint the sweetest taste of blood. And greetings from the nation as we shake the hands of time. They're taking their ovation. The vultures stay behind. In the Coliseum, in the Coliseum, in the Coliseum tonight. In the Coliseum, in the Coliseum, in the Coliseum tonight. In the Coliseum tonight. In the Coliseum tonight.
Now, what have I been doing? People say, what have you been doing for? I haven't put an album out in several years, 4 years, 5 years. Jesus. Well, I've been doing some films and different things. I'm a doctor, for Christ's sake. No, just kidding. Dracula's coming out November. I play the character of Renfield. Most of my scenes are inside of an insane asylum wearing a straight jacket that makes me look like some type of an insect. I had a great experience on that film. It was, I scared myself. I really did. And I don't know. I had scenes where I was screaming in Romanian, being hosed down and flailing my arms around in the middle of an electrical storm in this whole bedlam of this period. It was great. Coppola was a joy to work with. It's coming to a theater near you. Beware.